Let's talk about George Washington's leadership style.
I love the moment when the Continental Congress is deciding, as we have a kind of a ragtag army convened after the battles of Lexington and Concord. The Minutemen who had assembled for that's April 1775, they decided not to go home after they had a little bit of a shootout with the British there at Lexington and Concord, especially at Concord, of course. And so on what's called the Cambridge Common, just a grassy area still there near Harvard Square, they're camped out. They've got no commanding officer. They're Minutemen. And anyway, the Continental Congress says, look, things are heading towards a conflict with the Crown, and we do need somebody who can stand erect, mobilize this ragtag 15,000 or so collection of small units, Minutemen, from all across eastern Massachusetts and well beyond. And at the key moment, somebody steps forward and says, I hereby nominate George Washington as the commanding officer for the Continental Army. George says, I'll do it. Now think about that. He had a life to lead, like we all have a life to lead, the comforts at home. And George travels up to Cambridge, next to Boston there, and there's a monument today to mark the spot where George Washington took command of the Continental Army. Now, it's going to take a while. Remember, they end up at Yorktown some years later, having gone through Valley Forge and battles at Trenton and so on, crossing to the Delaware. Extremely difficult conditions. So the image we have of the crossing to Delaware, it looks cold. It looks like there are icebergs out there. And it was. And George Washington was of the officer kind of mindset that if his men and a few women are suffering, he can't not be in the conditions that they're having.